Hey folks, today we are going to talk about a pretty cool notebook tool that Google has built. They've been keeping it pretty secret. It's going to be really beneficial if you are a business professional, a student at college or university, and you're wanting to use something that's kind of like a Google Docs or a Notion on steroids. First of all, to use this, you will need to go to NotebookLM.Google and you'll just need to log in with your usual Google account. You can go through here and it gives you an understanding of what the tool can do, but I'm not going to give away all the good secrets. Let's go into Notebook and we'll see how this works. First things first, let's talk about what Notebooks is and how it works. When you first log on, you'll get this Explore Notebooks feature here. All notebooks are, it's like they say on the tin, they are a digital notebook, which can contain lots of notes that you have brought together from your own research and also bring in loads of reports. The real big USP of this tool is that you can bring in, I believe at the moment in time, up to 20 different data sources in one place to converse with those, do comparative analysis, find commonalities between data and more. So let me give you an example of this here. I will just go into this notebook here. I've got called Untitled Notebook. When you first land on the screen, obviously you can name your notebook. What you can see is this capability to add notes. And you can see here, I've got some notes already. So I could just write in notes if I want to, as you can see in the green here. I've also got save responses from the chats that I'm having with this. So if I click Notebook Guide, you'll see that once I've uploaded my sources, I have two sources in this particular bit here, I can ask NotebookLM to give me an FAQ out of this, a study guide if I'm a student, table of contents, a briefing doc if I'm using that in an organization. And it's also suggested questions here. And as you can see in most tools, I get this nice clear-cut summary of what is the data I have shared with it. And I can save any of these here. If I was to click one of these, I can save them on my Notes tab here. I can go back to these at any time. That's pretty useful considering it's not so easy with other AI tools to have like a library or catalog of things you've searched, notes that you might have on it. What you're able to do for anything is to add a source. Your sources can be from Google Drive, of course, a PDF, text file, copy text, web page, markdown file. You can put in lots of information from everywhere. This is kind of one that I've already used and I've done earlier. And if I want to, I can click some of these questions here and start to converse to the data that I have. But what I want to do is actually go back and I want to create a brand new notebook based off of two pieces of data that I've got. First of all, I'm going to say I want to give a web page URL. So I'm just going to jump across and grab one document, which is this report on prompting techniques. And we'll add this in here. This will be our first data source. As you can see, NotebookLM has uploaded that data. We can see that here. We can again select a other source. I'm going to say again, web page URL. And then this time we will get a different report on prompting. We'll just take this report here and then we'll bring that into NotebookLM as well. The reason why I do this is I want to show you how you can use this to compare different data sets on similar topics. And what we'll see in a few moments is the second source will be uploaded. Then we can go in and have a conversation with these two sources. And what we're also able to do is then take our notebook guide and we can start to create FAQs, study guides, all the stuff that I mentioned previously. First things first, you can see here that now both of the sources have been uploaded. So what I've got is a summary here that basically says that this research paper provides a comprehensive overview of prompting techniques, etc., etc., etc. Fantastic. If I wanted to, I could just start off by using NotebookLM to talk about these tools. One of them that I quite like is that what are various techniques used for prompting LLMs and how are they categorized? But just like any kind of basic conversational AI tool, you can go in and ask questions. It's still in beta, so it is a little bit slow. Also bear in mind, these two data sources that I've given are quite hefty. They're over 100 pages each in that documentation. It may not be as fast as what you expect with other tools. And once we've got a response to this, I'm going to show you how you can save this as a note. Okay, great. You can see this is incredibly comprehensive. It cites all of the sources in the document. I've got my citations here. I can click on these and then you can see here immediately, it pulls into the research where it has got that from. I've gone to the fault generation piece here. I can just click this and it will take me to the part of the document where it found this. That's pretty good in terms of instantaneous. Where is citations? Where is the sources that actually supports this information here? And then we can just get this drop down. And again, we get a source guide here and we get potential topics that we can go through as well. But we'll leave that for the moment. You can see here, this is all laid out quite nicely. We've got loads of things to go over. I can copy this. I can say, yep, this is good, or it's a crap response. It gives me more questions to follow up with, so I can continue to converse. But what I can also do is save this as a note. This little pin here, I can just click this And then you can see here, it's saved that as a note on my front screen, which is amazing. I can go back at any point and I can just open up this note, or I can share this note with other people if I want to. And you can see here, it's got 10 citations from these two documents that I have shared. I can go back to view chat, and then I can just, I want to find out about different categories of prompting techniques as outlined in this source material, and I can use it for that. Now, something to also bear in mind is, if you're looking to compare different sources, I've got 2 different reports here from 2 different research houses that have gone over prompting techniques. What I'd be able to do is do a comparative analysis. I wanted to see what one suggests versus the other. Now, I'm going to continue to look through some of the questions here. And let's take a look at the 5 categories used to group principles for prompting large language models. And again, you can see here, you can save this. But what we are going to do in a moment is move away from this here. We've got our answer, and you can see these are the 5 categories: prompt structure clarity, specific information, interaction engagement, content language style, complex task, and coding prompts. If you didn't know, now you know. And again, I can save that if I want to. But in this notebook guide, what might be quite handy is if I wanted to create an FAQ of all of this research to share with people who want to improve their prompting techniques. You can see it's gone off here and it's starting to generate this note for us. And again, this is all saved on the front of our screen. You can see here, if I wanted to, on this other note, I can select it, and then I can do I can do a number of things, which is pretty handy. One, I can create an outline for that selected note. Let's just close that for a second. I can ask it to suggest related ideas that maybe I haven't got in my data at the moment. I can ask it to critique that idea. We're using it as a thought partner there. I think a lot of AI should be used as a thought partner. I'll even ask it to help me understand, what does this note mean? Like, what is it talking about? And we'll look at that at the moment. So we'll look at our new note here, and we've got this lovely FAQ. So not too long, prompt engineering for large language models, based off of these 2 reports that we've got here. And now we have this 8-point piece about what would you need to know about prompt engineering. Pretty quick. We can then copy that and share it. If we go back to what I was looking at before, then what we'll look at is say, okay, so let's get NotebookLM to help me understand about prompt engineering. It's going to take that information that we've already got, put it into the chat, and see here, it's just changed it to talking to that one note. It's taken away from the 2 sources, and we've just gone to this one note. And then we get this summary, which is, pretty useful. I can say, hey, fantastic. That's great to know. Now, what I've done here is shown you a very quick example. This is just with 2 reports that I use in my own work and I pulled off online. You can use this for a number of things. You could use this if you had your own internal data, of course, be safe for your data in your organization, and compare that or have a conversation with that. Right. 2 big selling points here for me. One is the ability to have these notes and keep these notes on your screen whenever you want to here. The other is the ability to continue to converse with these and come back and find everything in one place because you've got this library. And then the ability to create all of these different documents as well. So like again before, let's say you're a student, we can create a study guide on this topic. Maybe you're going to be someone who wants to explore more generative AI or AI in general. And we can create you a pretty simple study guide in a few minutes for you to go off and use. And again, my last part on here is the thought partnership. We've got our notes, we've got those in a simple library we can come back to any time. We can add sources from wherever we want to. We can keep coming back to this. This is saved for us to build upon over a year or even longer. And then we can continue to add in that research, have conversations, critique it, suggest related ideas. And we can see here is a bit of a study guide. It's not the world's greatest, but it can definitely help to get you started if you are a complete beginner. So folks, look, I hope that has been helpful. Like I say, it's not a tool that I hear a lot about. I think it's going to be really great if you're in my industry of corporate learning and development and looking at how we use this to keep track of your own development, but also look at comparative data or comparative analysis in the field that we're working in and how you can better help users as well. Of course, if you're a student, I would love to have had this as a student back in the day, because this can be incredibly helpful to build more of a library of work and continue to come back to this notebook to add new sources, to ask questions as you go on. As always, folks, I hope that's helpful, and I will speak to you in the next one.